Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Justin here. As always, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me today. Let's talk about a movie. The new film X was written, directed, produced, and edited by genre outsider and altogether badass Ti West. The film had its world premiere at South by Southwest Film Festival March 13th and was released theatrically March 18th, 2022, and distributed by A24. X tells the story of a group of young, eager, horny folks who head out to a rural Texas farmhouse to film an adult feature. And from there, bloody, gory, geriatric shenanigans ensue. So for me, and I think it was the same for a lot of folks out there, X sort of came out of nowhere. Very brief marketing campaign, a little bit of buzz at South by Southwest, and all of a sudden it was just here. And I was really anticipating this film. This film was shot in the height of the pandemic on location in New Zealand as a substitute for rural Texas. And X is a perfect example of everything that a filmmaker like Ti West can do as far as recreating that throwback feel of a real, genuine late 70s, early 80s slasher that happened in the boom of the video store era. And the movie mirrors that in its subject matter and in its storylines as we follow this group of young people trying to make an elevated adult feature, a smut film with heart. These characters really want to make something different, and that reflects many of the aspects that make Ti West such a unique filmmaker. Taking material that in lesser hands could be stereotypical or something we've seen before, especially with this movie with such a simple setup, young people crammed in a van, going on a road trip, and getting chopped up in various creative ways. But Ti West takes all of this and mashes it up and gives us something really unique. This is Ti West's first feature film in 6 years, his first horror film in nearly a decade, and the return to form is amazing. And saying that this movie would be lesser in other hands isn't a knock on the material, it's not a knock on Ti West, but the way this movie is packaged and delivered sets it worlds apart from movies like, let's say, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. Brilliant command of the frame combined with really natural character development creates something unique at every single turn to keep you completely immersed in what's unfolding on screen. Everything moves at a careful pace and you really get to hang with these characters and get to know them. They all feel like real three-dimensional characters, especially Mia Goth's character, Maxine, which we'll talk about here in a second. Watching this ragtag crew make their film, interact, you really get a sense of who they are, and every one of them seems like real three-dimensional people as opposed to shallow archetypes that are just up for slaughter. The comparisons to movies like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Boogie Nights, even Friday the 13th are going to be unavoidable just because of the era and this being a throwback slasher. But Ti West has such a grasp on the technical abilities of filmmaking that everything just shoots to another level. Another perfect example is this really great one-take long shot as all the characters are getting out of this van. The camera is set up in the back of the van, you see the doors swing open, people grab their shit, then the camera starts moving back and panning over to the passenger side door where Mia Goth is grabbing something out of her bag and kind of looking at the house and just realizing that something isn't quite right. It sets a tone. You don't have to have a character saying, well, I'm really not sure about this. How about you have a cool camera movement? Show a character reacting to the scenario that she's in. It's this type of filmmaking that really brings you in and creates that suspense and that unease of what's gonna happen next. And of course, even with great camera work, if you don't have decent characters, it's all for naught anyway. But in the case of X, all these characters, and more importantly, all these performances are just absolutely incredible. You have all these amazing characters. You have Maxine, played brilliantly by Mia Goth, who is this starry-eyed, small-town girl who just dreams of being a star. She knows she's got it. She has her producer, boss, boyfriend, Wayne, who describes Mia Goth as his future fiance, which I thought was pretty funny. This sort of sleazy, small-time entrepreneur. Again, all these characters have these big dreams about themselves. Brittany Snow hamming it up as this wannabe starlet, Marilyn Monroe type character. I had never seen her in anything really. I had seen maybe Pitch Perfect a long time ago, but she is absolutely incredible in this role. Big new respect for Brittany Snow in this role. She has to do a lot. She has to do a lot in this movie, and if you've seen it, you know what I mean. You have Kid Cudi, who is we'll say the male talent in the movie, well endowed male talent, which you'll see. I had no idea this was Kid Cudi. I've listened to a bunch of Kid Cudi's music throughout the years. Day and Night is such a fucking banger.
Day and night, I toss and turn, I keep stressing my mind.
I had no idea that was him in this role, and he's a fantastic actor. He's great. You have Owen Campbell, who plays the director who wants to take this smut material and edit it to not just be another porn movie. He wants to really make a name for himself as a director, as an auteur, which at this time again mirrors what actually was going on during this direct-to-video boom. Oftentimes, many directors would come from the world of adult films and transition into legitimate films. Directors like Barry Sonnenfeld and Bill Lustig all got their start doing smut movies back in the day. Just like these characters, hope this catapults them to Hollywood. Owen Campbell was also in Super Dark Times, which is a fantastic movie if you guys haven't seen that. I thought this character was Lou Taylor Pucci. I thought he was playing a character that looked exactly like his character in Evil Dead. It's just an actor that looks just like him, Owen Campbell. And then finally we have It Girl of the Moment, Jenny Ortega, playing Church Mouse. I don't even remember, Lorraine is her name. She plays director RJ's girlfriend. She sort of is his partner in crime when it comes to filmmaking. She's holding the microphone and stuff, and she's starting to get more and more intrigued with the adult world as this movie continues to go, as she stares right into the action happening on screen. Now, as far as the look of this film, like I said, this is a visual throwback to those slasher films of the video store era. There are very few directors that I have seen that actually produce convincing looking throwback movies. The Love Witch comes to mind. The Love Witch and House of the Devil. You'd be hard pressed if you watch those movies not knowing anything about them. You would 100% assume that these were both movies from that era. Especially The Love Witch. If you guys have not seen The Love Witch, it's just amazing the way they recreated the Technicolor aspect of the filmmaking. But Ty West does the same thing here, and he does so many cool tricks. Swapping from looks as they're shooting the movies in this little square frame like it would in the film camera of the porn movie they're shooting, and then it'll transition to these gorgeous grainy wine shots. I tried to look up to see if this was shot on film. I couldn't figure it out. If anybody knows, let me know in the comments, but I couldn't figure out if this was shot digitally or on film. With the budget, I imagine it was shot digitally, but the post-production on this is amazing. These really great overhead shots over lakes. There's these great wide shots of the farmhouse. It's gorgeous. All of the amazing costumes and production designs and set designs all look amazing with this golden warm grain. You really feel like you're in Texas. Even though you're in New Zealand, all these characters look hot and sweaty, and you really feel the locations of this movie. It's just so much fun to watch. The sound design, the score, and the needle drops in the movie are just icing on the cake to really capture the era of 1979 when this film takes place. And not only is this movie beautiful and well shot and well acted, the scenes of violence and the kills in this movie are absolutely brutal. Some of the death sequences in this movie are shot in such a visceral and intimate way. It really did have me squirming in my seat because of the way he stays with the shot. It's just unflinching. Well, there's one scene in particular that I'm thinking of now where it just comes out of nowhere and you're just shocked at what's happening. You know shit is gonna go sideways in the movie, but you just don't know when, and you don't know exactly what or whom is really going to be, you know, causing all this chaos. The way he shoots violence really reminded me of Jeremy Saulnier in films like Blue Ruin and Green Room, where the violence doesn't feel cartoonish or slapsticky or, you know, sleazy. It just feels brutal and violent and painful. And all of these death sequences are prolonged. The camera just hangs and you're just forced to watch these characters in absolute anguish until their last moments. It's fantastic. So all of this has been spoiler free before, but now, right now, we are going to talk about some spoilers that I don't want people to know about if they have not seen the movie. So turn off the rest of this video and go watch the movie and come back if you don't want any spoilers. So spoiler territory starts now. One of the most interesting aspects of this whole production is the amazing prosthetics that take place throughout this whole movie. The two old folks who own this farmhouse, Pearl and I think his name's Howard, are both younger actors in full prosthetic makeup. But something I didn't even know until I got out of the movie is that Pearl, the old lady, the owner of the farmhouse, is actually also played by Mia Goth. Not only that, a prequel to X has already been completed. It's in the can, and it's called Pearl. So we are going to actually see the origin story of Pearl. And if you've seen the movie, you know you're gonna want to know her past. Being that this was shot all in pandemic, they got in New Zealand and they had to quarantine for a couple weeks, and Ty West said fuck it, and he just wrote a prequel to this movie called Pearl. Mia Goth reprised her role, so I imagine it'll be her without the prosthetics, just playing Pearl, and I think it's like 1918 or some crazy shit like that. And Ty West says that he wants this to be a trilogy, so I think eventually we will get a sequel in some capacity to X. Mia Goth playing Pearl isn't itself a story spoiler, but I think if you don't know that that's Mia Goth, I think it sort of takes the little fun out of it if you know that it's her in the prosthetics. So the special effects were done by Weta Workshop that did a bunch of stuff for Lord of the Rings and a bunch of other movies, but the prosthetics are amazing, and Mia Goth is absolutely amazing as Pearl. That scene when she is stabbing RJ in the neck to the point she just does not stop stabbing him until he's pretty much fully decapitated. It is an insane scene, and what an amazing slasher scene when the blood squirts onto the headlights and then the whole frame is just bathed in this red color. Ugh, absolutely incredible. Guys, I could go on and on and on about this movie. I am really tempted to do a whole nother review and do a spoiler review. If you guys want to see a spoiler review, I will definitely do that, because I have a lot more to say when it comes to just every aspect of the spoiler aspects of this movie. So I cannot recommend X enough. I know it's only March, it's not even April yet, and I am almost positive that this will be my #1 horror film of the year. So I am really anxious to hear what you guys have to say about this movie. Let me know in the comments below, guys. And I think we're done here, guys. Stay weird. Remember to always be yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.